the Kandahar giant. The monster the US military tried to erase. Have you ever wondered what secrets hide in the endless mountains of Afghanistan? Imagine the Afghan mountains at twilight, wind howling through jagged peaks, a team of US soldiers scouring a forgotten valley for a missing patrol. But what they find is far more terrifying than insurgents. A massive cave yawns at their feet, bones scattered like fallen leaves. And then, in the gloom, something moves. Something enormous. Something that was never meant for daylight. Tonight on Mysteries from the Orb, we descend into the shadows of the remote highlands of Kandahar province, Afghanistan, where one of the most enduring and chilling military legends was born. The story of a giant, a cave, a battle, and a secret extraction that may still be hidden from public record. It all began with a disappearance. A US Army patrol unit had been deployed to investigate insurgent activity deep within the Rocky Mountains of Kandahar. The region is vast, riddled with narrow passes, ancient ruins, and caves that stretch for kilometers underground. When the team failed to report back for 48 hours, a second unit was sent to locate them. The men were experienced, tough, quiet professionals. But even they admitted something about the area felt wrong. The local villagers, when asked for directions, refused to go near that valley. One old shepherd reportedly told them in broken English,
"That place is home of the man-eaters. The red vans. Do not go."
At first, they thought it was superstition, until they found the first signs. Broken equipment, shredded uniforms, deep drag marks in the dirt, as if heavy bodies had been pulled into the hills. And then, a cave mouth large enough to swallow a truck. The team moved in cautiously, weapons raised. The deeper they went, the colder it became. No sound. No air movement. Just darkness pressing from all sides. Then their flashlights caught something, bones. Dozens of them, scattered across the cave floor. Human, animal, and some so massive they couldn't identify them. Among them, torn pieces of military fabric, US camouflage. The missing team's gear. They were piecing together what happened when the radio operator shouted he'd found something big. And then, they heard it. A deep, rolling growl. The kind that rattles in your chest and freezes your blood. The creature stepped into the beam of their flashlights. It towered over them, 12 to 15 feet tall, its skin a leathery dark red, its hair bright crimson, tangled with dust and blood. Its eyes glowed an unnatural orange. Its teeth were like broken stones. In one hand, it carried a massive spear, sharpened bone bound with metal. Before they could react, it moved, impossibly fast. The first soldier was impaled instantly, lifted off the ground like a rag doll. The rest opened fire. M4 rifles screamed. 50 caliber rounds, the sound thundered through the cave like an explosion. But the creature didn't fall. It roared, swinging the spear, striking walls, shattering rocks. Rounds tore into the creature, but it kept coming. Finally, after sustained fire and a lucky hit to the face, the giant collapsed, shaking the ground as it fell. Silence followed. No one spoke. The soldiers just stared at the impossible thing lying before them. When word of the incident leaked among locals, something strange happened. Afghans from nearby villages weren't surprised. They spoke of Deve-i-Sok, the Red Devils. Massive, man-eating giants said to live in mountain caves since the time of Alexander the Great. According to ancient Persian and Pashtun folklore, these beings were remnants of a forgotten race, taller than men, with fiery hair and skin tanned dark by the sun. They were known to ambush travelers, eat livestock, and even drag entire caravans into the mountains. One elder told a US translator,
"The mountains are older than the world. The red men live in their bellies. My grandfather saw them. He said they come out only when the land is full of war."
In fact, there are old stories in Islamic and pre-Islamic texts of the Nephilim, or Nimrod's giants, who once roamed the Middle East, towering warriors who devoured flesh. Could the creature found by those soldiers have been one of them? Or was it just coincidence that the locals had warned them about the very same thing? After the firefight, the soldiers called for extraction. But instead of a normal recovery unit, an unmarked helicopter arrived, black, with no insignia. Men in plain uniforms took over the site. They ordered the soldiers away, photographed the body, and covered it in a heavy tarp. They called in a large cargo helicopter, reportedly AC-130 Hercules, to carry the corpse out. One of the witnesses later said,
"It weighed over 1,000 pounds. The cargo crew had to use a net and chains. The body looked ancient, like it had been around for hundreds of years."
After that, everything went silent. No official reports. No debriefings. The mission logs were wiped. The men were told to never speak of it again. Years later, one of them anonymously spoke out. He described the giant exactly the same way and said he believed the body had been taken to an American base for classified biological analysis. So what really happened in Kandahar that day? Some researchers believe the creature was a Nephilim, one of the giants mentioned in the book of Genesis, the offspring of fallen angels and human women. Others think it could have been an undiscovered ancient hominid, a remnant of a lost evolutionary branch. More skeptical voices claim the whole story was a military myth, born from stress, darkness, and imagination. But then again, how do you explain the local centuries-old stories of the red giants? How do you explain a patrol that disappeared without a trace? And why did witnesses insist that the US military confiscated a body that nobody was supposed to see? The Afghanistan cave giant may be one of the strangest stories to come out of the modern war era. Some say it was a fable told by soldiers to make sense of the fear they felt in those mountains. Others insist it was real, a forgotten creature that survived humanity's rise and met its end in a hail of gunfire. But perhaps, somewhere deep in those endless caves of Kandahar, the ground still trembles at night. And the locals still whisper, "The red ones sleep." But not forever. So what do you think? Was the Kandahar giant real, or just another myth born of war and darkness? If you enjoyed this journey, remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next mysteries from the orb. Until then, stay curious.